Every morning you wake up and immediately reach for your phone. You scroll through the same meaningless content while your mind fills with the worries, doubts, and limitations that others have planted there. You tell yourself you will change, that today will be different, but by evening you realize you have lived another day on autopilot, controlled by forces outside of your own will. You know deep down that you were meant for something greater. You feel it burning inside you every time you see someone living the life you truly desire. You watch others command respect, attract opportunities, and build wealth while you remain trapped in patterns that keep you exactly where you are. The gap between who you are and who you could become grows wider each day. You surrender the first precious moments of your consciousness to the world instead of claiming them for yourself. Today, I am going to reveal the 30-minute morning discipline that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. This is not another motivational technique. This is the exact method I discovered after 25 years of studying over 500 of the most successful individuals who ever lived. Men like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and John D. Rockefeller. What I found will transform you from someone who reacts to life into someone who commands it. The first 5 minutes after you open your eyes determine whether you will spend the next 16 hours as a victim of circumstance or as the architect of your destiny. In those critical moments, your subconscious mind is most receptive to programming. Miss this window and you hand control of your day to every negative voice, every doubt, every limitation that seeks to keep you small. I will teach you 11 power statements that, when spoken with burning emotion directly into your own eyes each morning, will reprogram your subconscious to attract wealth, opportunity, and unshakable courage. You will no longer be the person who hopes things will change. You will become the person who makes change inevitable. This requires absolute commitment. If you miss even one session in the first 30 days, you must start again. I am not interested in giving you temporary motivation. I am offering you permanent transformation. After 60 days, your thinking patterns will shift. After 90 days, others will notice the change in you. After 6 months, you will naturally think and act in complete harmony with success. If you are ready to stop being programmed by others and finally program yourself for the life you deserve, then stay with me for the next 30 minutes. Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now. And if this message resonates with the part of you that refuses to settle for mediocrity, I invite you to subscribe, because everything I share is designed to help you claim the extraordinary life that is your birthright. Number 1, the mind is a broadcasting and receiving station. You have been walking through life believing that your thoughts are private, that the endless stream of worries, desires, and dreams flowing through your consciousness affects no one but yourself. You could not be more wrong. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold is being broadcast into the invisible ethers that surround you, creating a frequency that determines what flows back into your experience. Your mind is not merely flesh and blood contained within your skull. It is a sophisticated broadcasting and receiving station, more powerful than any radio tower ever constructed by human hands. When you think with emotion, when you feel with intensity, when you believe with conviction, you are transmitting a signal that penetrates time and space, reaching forces and intelligences far beyond your current understanding. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in a vast cosmic telephone exchange where millions of conversations are happening simultaneously. Every human mind is connected to this network, sending and receiving according to the nature of their dominant thoughts. Those who think of poverty attract poverty. Those who think of failure attract failure. Those who think of success, wealth, and achievement with burning desire and unwavering faith attract the people, circumstances, and opportunities that make these things inevitable. When Andrew Carnegie first conceived his vision of a steel empire, he was not yet wealthy, he was not yet powerful, but he understood this law. Day after day, he would visualize his success with such emotional intensity that his mind became a magnet for everything he needed. The right people appeared, the right opportunities presented themselves, the right knowledge came to him at precisely the right moment. This was not coincidence. This was the law in operation. The moment you accept that your thoughts have creative power, everything changes. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the architect of your destiny. You realize that the conditions of your life are not accidents but direct results of the mental frequencies you have been broadcasting, often unconsciously, for years. But here is what most people miss. Empty words repeated without feeling are as powerless as a radio without electricity. The emotion behind your thought is the power that gives it life, that sends it racing through the cosmos to attract its physical equivalent. Doubt kills the signal. Fear scrambles the transmission. Only thoughts charged with burning desire, unwavering faith, and absolute conviction reach their destination and return bearing gifts. From this moment forward, guard your thoughts as carefully as you would guard your most precious treasure, because that is exactly what they are. Your thoughts are the seeds of your future, the blueprints of your destiny, the frequencies that will determine whether you live in abundance or scarcity, joy or sorrow, triumph or defeat. The universe is listening to every signal you send. Make sure you are broadcasting the life you truly want to live. Number 2. The 30-minute morning ritual and its rules. Every morning you surrender the most powerful moments of your day to the chaos of the outside world. You wake up and immediately check messages, read news, absorb the fears and limitations of others before you have even claimed your own mind. You hand over the sacred first minutes of consciousness to forces that do not have your best interests at heart, and then wonder why your life feels out of control. The first 30 minutes after you open your eyes are not just another part of your day, they are the foundation upon which everything else is built. In those precious moments, your subconscious mind emerges from the depths of sleep, still soft and receptive, ready to accept whatever you choose to plant there. This is your daily opportunity to program yourself for greatness or allow the world to program you for mediocrity. Think of your morning consciousness as freshly tilled soil in a master gardener's hands. Whatever seeds you plant in those fertile moments will grow throughout the day, determining the quality of your thoughts, the nature of your actions, and the character of your results. Plant seeds of power and you will reap strength. Plant seeds of purpose and you will reap achievement. Plant nothing and the winds of circumstance will scatter the weeds of doubt and limitation across your mental landscape. Thomas Edison understood this principle. Every morning before the world could claim his attention, he would sit in silence and connect with his inner vision. He would see his inventions completed before they existed, feel the satisfaction of success before it arrived, experience the joy of service before he had served. This was not wishful thinking. This was deliberate programming of the most sophisticated success mechanism ever created, the human mind. The ritual I am about to share with you requires sacrifice. You must rise 30 minutes earlier than you do now. You must find a space where you will not be disturbed, where you can look into your own eyes in a mirror without interruption. You must speak 11 power statements aloud, 3 times each, with increasing emotional intensity. You must follow this with 5 minutes of absolute silence, allowing your subconscious to absorb these commands like a sponge absorbs water. Most importantly, you cannot miss a single day for 30 consecutive days. Miss one session and you must start again. This is not punishment. This is recognition of how the mind works. Consistency creates neural pathways. Inconsistency destroys them. You are literally rewiring your brain, creating new highways of thought that will carry you toward success for the rest of your life. After 60 days, you will notice your thinking patterns beginning to shift. Negative thoughts will have less power over you. Positive opportunities will seem to appear more frequently. After 90 days, others will begin to comment on the changes they see in you. After 6 months, you will naturally think and act in harmony with success as effortlessly as you now breathe. This is not theory. This is law. The same law that governs the growth of seeds governs the growth of thoughts. Plant consistently, tend carefully, and harvest becomes inevitable. Your morning ritual is your daily appointment with destiny. Keep it sacred, keep it consistent, and watch your life transform before your eyes. Number 3, the 11 transformational affirmations. You have spent years allowing random thoughts to control your destiny, letting whatever enters your mind stay there and grow like weeds in an untended garden. You have accepted limitations that were never yours, believed in scarcity that exists only in fearful minds, and surrendered your power to voices that speak of impossibility. Today, that changes forever. Each of the 11 affirmations you are about to learn is a master key forged from the wisdom of the greatest achievers in human history. These are not mere words to be recited mindlessly. They are precise instruments designed to unlock specific chambers in your subconscious mind, chambers that have been sealed by years of negative conditioning and self-doubt. Picture your subconscious as a vast library containing every experience, every belief, every habit that has shaped your life. Most people never realize they can reorganize this library. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Transform destructive patterns into constructive ones. These 11 statements are your tools for that transformation. When Thomas Edison declared, "I turn every failure into a stepping stone," he was not speaking empty words. He had failed 10,000 times in his quest to create the electric light bulb. But with each failure, he programmed his mind to see progress instead of defeat, learning instead of loss. When others saw a man who had failed 10,000 times, Edison saw a man who had discovered 10,000 ways that did not work and was therefore 10,000 steps closer to the way that would. The moment you begin to speak these affirmations with genuine emotion, something extraordinary happens in your mind. Neural pathways that have carried thoughts of limitation for years begin to weaken. New pathways carrying thoughts of power and possibility begin to form. You are literally rewiring your brain for success. "I am the master of my destiny," programs self-reliance. "My definite chief aim guides every action, creates laser-like focus." "I attract wealth through service to others," aligns your purpose with universal law. "I close my mind to all negative influences," builds mental immunity against the poison of doubt and fear. Each affirmation must be spoken aloud because the vibration of your own voice carries these truths deep into your subconscious. Each must be felt deeply because emotion is the language your subconscious understands. Each must be repeated 3 times because repetition creates habit, and habit creates character, and character creates destiny. John D. Rockefeller spoke daily affirmations of abundance even when he was poor. Henry Ford affirmed his vision of affordable automobiles long before he had the knowledge to build them. Abraham Lincoln declared his worthiness for leadership through years of political defeat. They understood that what you consistently affirm with emotion, you eventually become. These 11 keys will unlock the prison of limitation that has held you captive, but only if you use them, only if you speak them with conviction, only if you feel them with every fiber of your being. The words themselves have no power. The power comes from your faith in them, your emotion behind them, your consistency in using them. Use these keys daily, and watch as the doors to your greatest life swing wide open. Number 4, the power of a definite chief aim. You drift through your days chasing a dozen different goals, scattered like leaves in the wind, wondering why nothing substantial ever materializes in your life. You set resolutions that fade within weeks, pursue opportunities that lead nowhere, and wonder why others with less talent and fewer resources somehow achieve more. The answer lies in a principle so simple that most people overlook it completely: the devastating power of a single burning obsession. A person without a definite chief aim is like a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of every wind and current, destined to drift in circles until fuel runs out and hope dies. But a person with a clear, compelling purpose becomes a force of nature, cutting through obstacles like a river cuts through rock, reshaping the landscape of possibility through the sheer persistence of focused desire. Imagine 2 men digging for gold. One digs a little here, a little there, moving from spot to spot whenever the work becomes difficult, never penetrating deep enough to strike the vein. The other chooses one spot and digs relentlessly, day after day, going deeper when others would quit, until finally he breaks through to the treasure that makes all his effort worthwhile. Most people are the first man, forever starting and stopping, forever changing direction, forever wondering why success eludes them. Edwin Barnes arrived at Thomas Edison's laboratory with nothing but a burning desire to become his business partner. He had no money, no credentials, no connections. What he had was a definite chief aim so clear and compelling that he could see it, feel it, taste it. He worked for Edison at any job he could get, often for little pay, but never lost sight of his ultimate purpose. 5 years later, he became Edison's partner in a venture that made him wealthy. Barnes understood that when you commit completely to a single worthy goal, the universe conspires to help you achieve it. The moment you declare your definite chief aim with absolute conviction, forces begin moving in your favor that you never knew existed. Your mind becomes sensitized to opportunities related to your purpose. People who can help you seem to appear from nowhere. Knowledge you need comes to you at exactly the right time. Obstacles that once seemed impossible begin to crumble before your focused determination. But your aim must be definite, not vague. Not, I want to be successful, but I will earn $100,000 in the next 12 months by providing this specific service to these specific people. Not, I want to be healthy, but I will lose 30 pounds and run a marathon within 6 months by following this exact training plan. Vague desires produce vague results. Specific goals produce specific achievements. Write your definite chief aim on paper. Read it aloud every morning with the same passion Edison brought to his inventions, the same conviction Carnegie brought to his steel empire, the same unwavering faith Lincoln brought to the preservation of the Union. Let it become the lens through which you see every opportunity, the filter through which you make every decision, the fire that burns away every excuse. The power to choose your destiny lies dormant within you, waiting for the focusing lens of a definite chief aim to ignite it into flames of achievement. Choose your purpose wisely, commit to it completely, and watch as the scattered forces of your life align into an unstoppable tide carrying you toward the success you were born to achieve. Number 5, internal power and connection to infinite intelligence. You have spent your life looking outside yourself for the power to create the changes you desire, seeking approval from others, waiting for permission from authorities, hoping for circumstances to align in your favor. You have forgotten the most fundamental truth of human existence. Everything you need to achieve your deepest desires already exists within you, waiting to be awakened by your recognition and activated by your faith. The power that moves planets in their orbits, that causes seeds to burst into towering trees, that transforms caterpillars into butterflies, flows through every cell of your being at this very moment. You are not separate from this infinite intelligence. You are an expression of it, a channel through which it seeks to manifest new realities, solve unsolved problems, and bring into existence that which has never existed before. Think of yourself as a radio receiver, perfectly designed to tune into the frequency of infinite wisdom. But like any receiver, you must first clear the static of doubt, fear, and negative conditioning that blocks the signal. You must quiet the endless chatter of your conscious mind and create space for the deeper intelligence that knows no limitations, recognizes no impossibilities, and sees solutions where others see only problems. George Washington Carver discovered over 300 uses for the peanut, not through formal education, but by sitting quietly in his laboratory, asking the peanut itself to reveal its secrets. Benjamin Franklin drew electricity from the sky, not because he understood the technical principles, but because he trusted his inner guidance to lead him to discovery. They understood that knowledge comes not from books alone, but from the infinite source of wisdom available to anyone who approaches it with humility and faith. The moment you stop seeking power outside yourself and recognize the unlimited power within, everything changes. You stop being intimidated by challenges because you know you have access to the intelligence that created them. You stop being paralyzed by uncertainty because you trust that the answers you need will come when you need them. You stop feeling small and inadequate because you remember that you are connected to the same source that created galaxies and atoms with equal precision. But this connection requires more than intellectual understanding. It demands the removal of doubt, the elimination of fear, the silencing of the voice that whispers, "Impossible." Every time you affirm, "I already possess the power I need," you strengthen this connection. Every time you act on inspiration rather than fear, you deepen your access to infinite intelligence. Start each day by acknowledging the power within you. Before you face any challenge, remind yourself that you have access to wisdom beyond your current understanding. When you encounter obstacles, instead of asking, "How can little me overcome this?" ask, "What would infinite intelligence do in this situation?" And then listen for the answer that always comes. The great achievers throughout history were not superhuman. They were ordinary people who discovered the extraordinary power within them and learned to trust it completely. Edison received inspiration for his inventions not from textbooks but from the infinite intelligence that flows through all creation. Ford revolutionized industry not through formal engineering training but by connecting with the source of all innovation. You are not limited by your education, your background, or your circumstances. You are limited only by your willingness to recognize and use the infinite power that is your birthright. Stop looking outside for what you already possess within. The power to transform your life is not coming someday. It is here now, waiting for you to claim it. Number 6, wealth comes from serving others. You have been taught to pursue wealth as if it were a finite resource to be grabbed and hoarded, as if taking more for yourself meant leaving less for others. You compete instead of create, you hoard instead of serve, and you wonder why abundance feels so elusive, why money seems to slip through your fingers like water, why the harder you chase wealth, the faster it runs from you. True wealth is not taken from the world. It is created through service to the world. It flows not to those who grab the most, but to those who give the most value, solve the most problems, and serve the most people in the most meaningful ways. Wealth is the universe's way of rewarding those who make life better for others, and it comes not to the selfish, but to the generous, not to the takers, but to the givers. Picture wealth as a vast ocean, not a small pond. When you serve others genuinely, you do not diminish this ocean. You expand it. Every problem you solve, every need you meet, every life you improve, adds value to the total wealth of humanity. And the natural law that governs this process ensures that your share of abundance grows in direct proportion to the value you create for others. Henry Ford became one of the richest men in history not by pursuing money, but by pursuing a vision of putting every American family in an automobile they could afford. He served the masses, and the masses rewarded him with wealth beyond imagination. F.W. Woolworth built his empire by serving the forgotten poor, bringing dignity and quality to those others ignored. J.P. Morgan accumulated fortune by bringing order to chaos, creating systems that served entire industries. The instant you shift your focus from how can I get more to how can I give more, everything changes in your financial life. Opportunities multiply because people are drawn to those who genuinely want to help them. Cooperation replaces competition because you are no longer seen as a threat but as an ally. Resources flow to you because the universe supports those who support others. But service must be genuine, not manipulative. You cannot fake concern for others and expect authentic abundance in return. The market has an infallible ability to detect and reward sincere value and to reject and punish selfish schemes. Those who serve only to get rich usually get neither wealth nor satisfaction. Those who serve because they genuinely care often get both wealth and fulfillment beyond their wildest dreams. Ask yourself not what can the world give me, but what can I give the world? Look for problems that need solving, needs that need meeting, lives that need improving. The bigger the problem you solve, the greater the reward. The more people you serve, the more abundance flows back to you. This is not wishful thinking. This is the law. Start tomorrow by looking for one way to add value to someone else's life. Help a colleague succeed. Solve a customer's problem. Make someone's day brighter. Do this not for what you will get, but for the joy of giving. And watch as the universe begins to shower you with abundance in ways you never expected. Wealth is not your reward for being clever or lucky or ruthless. Wealth is your reward for serving others so well that they willingly exchange their money for the value you provide. Make service your obsession, and wealth will become your inevitable reward. This is the secret every truly wealthy person knows and every struggling person has forgotten. Number 7, failure as the foundation of character. You have been running from failure your entire life, treating it as evidence of your inadequacy rather than proof of your courage to try. You avoid risks to prevent disappointment, you quit at the first sign of difficulty to avoid the pain of defeat, and you convince yourself that playing it safe is wisdom when it is actually the slow death of every dream you have ever dared to dream. Failure is not your enemy, it is your teacher, your trainer, your most valuable advisor dressed in clothes you do not recognize. Every failure carries within it the seed of equivalent or greater success, but only for those wise enough to examine it, learn from it, and use it as stepping stone to higher ground rather than evidence that higher ground does not exist. Imagine failure as a master craftsman, shaping your character with each blow of his hammer. Every disappointment strengthens your resilience. Every setback deepens your wisdom. Every defeat that does not destroy you forges within you a strength that cannot be broken by any future challenge. The person who has never failed has never been tested, and the person who has never been tested cannot be trusted with great responsibilities or great rewards. Abraham Lincoln failed in business twice, suffered a nervous breakdown, lost 8 elections before becoming President of the United States. Each defeat taught him something essential about leadership, about people, about himself. Had he succeeded easily and early, he would never have developed the depth of character necessary to hold a nation together during its darkest hour. His failures were not obstacles to his destiny. They were the very foundation upon which his destiny was built. The moment you stop fearing failure and start embracing it as education, everything changes in your life. You become bold where you were once timid, persistent where you were once quick to quit, innovative where you were once content with mediocrity. Failure loses its power to paralyze you because you know that every failure brings you closer to the success that is always waiting on the other side of persistence. Edison failed 10,000 times before perfecting the incandescent light bulb, but he never saw these as failures. He saw them as 10,000 successful experiments in what did not work, each one eliminating a wrong path and pointing him closer to the right one. This attitude transformed what others would call the greatest series of failures in scientific history into the greatest success story of human ingenuity. There is no success without failure, no strength without struggle, no character without challenge. The people you most admire, the leaders you most respect, the achievers you most envy, all have one thing in common. They failed more times than you have even tried. The difference between them and those who remain defeated is simple. They got up one more time than they fell down. From this moment forward, redefine failure in your mind. See it not as proof that you cannot succeed, but as evidence that you had the courage to attempt something worthwhile. Welcome it, not as an ending, but as a beginning, not as a verdict, but as a lesson, not as a reason to quit, but as fuel for your next attempt. The next time you fail, and you will fail if you are truly living, ask yourself not why me, but what now, not what went wrong, but what can I learn? Not should I quit, but how can I try again better? Your failures are not writing your obituary, they are writing your biography. Make it a story worth reading. Number 8, the power of decisive action. You have spent years trapped in the prison of hesitation, analyzing every option until opportunities die of old age, waiting for perfect conditions that never come, seeking more information when what you really need is more courage. You procrastinate under the disguise of being careful, you delay under the pretense of being thorough, and you wonder why others with less knowledge and fewer resources somehow achieve more than you ever have. Hesitation is the silent assassin of dreams, the invisible thief that steals more fortunes than all the criminals in history combined. While you deliberate, others act. While you analyze, others achieve. While you wait for certainty, others create certainty through the sheer force of decisive action backed by unshakable will. Picture opportunity as a wild horse that appears briefly in your field, magnificent and powerful, ready to carry you to destinations beyond your current imagination. You can study this horse, analyze its merits, consider the risks of riding it, or you can leap onto its back and let it carry you toward your destiny. But understand this, opportunity never waits for the timid, never pauses for the hesitant, never returns to those who let it pass while they make up their minds. When Hernán Cortés landed in Mexico with a small army to conquer an empire, he burned his ships so that retreat became impossible. His men had only one choice, succeed or perish. This act of decisive commitment transformed a group of ordinary soldiers into an unstoppable force that achieved what seemed impossible. Sometimes the bridge behind you must be destroyed before you can build the bridge ahead of you. The instant you move from thinking to acting, forces begin working in your favor that remain dormant as long as you hesitate. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence, and confidence creates better decisions, and better decisions create better results. The person in motion attracts resources, support, and opportunities that never come to the person standing still. Napoleon understood that even a poor plan executed with speed and determination usually defeats a perfect plan that comes too late. Theodore Roosevelt knew that the credit belongs to the person in the arena, not to the critic in the stands. Every great achievement in history began with someone saying yes when logic said wait and courage said now. But action without thought is recklessness, just as thought without action is cowardice. The secret lies in making decisions quickly and changing them slowly, in acting on 70% of the information rather than waiting for 100% certainty that never comes, in understanding that the perfect moment is a myth and the right moment is always now. Your fears will always find reasons to delay. Your doubts will always demand more proof. Your comfort zone will always whisper that tomorrow is safer than today. But your dreams will die of starvation if you keep feeding them nothing but promises and postponements. Look at your life right now and identify the one decision you have been avoiding, the one action you have been delaying, the one step you have been afraid to take. Stop asking if you are ready. Ready is a luxury that life rarely provides. Start asking if you are willing. Willing is a choice that life always honors. The graveyard is filled with people who were going to start tomorrow, who were waiting for the right time, who wanted to be certain before they began. Do not let your dreams join them. Act now. Act decisively. Act with the knowledge that courage is not the absence of fear, but action in spite of fear. Your future is not determined by your conditions, but by your decisions. Make the decision that scares you most, and make it today. Number 9, gratitude as a magnetic force. You wake up each morning focusing on what you lack rather than what you have, cataloging your problems instead of counting your blessings, training your mind to see scarcity in a world overflowing with abundance. You have programmed yourself to notice what is missing, what is wrong, what is insufficient, and then wonder why more of the same keeps appearing in your experience. Gratitude is not merely a pleasant emotion or a social courtesy. It is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, a magnetic field that attracts more of whatever you appreciate with genuine feeling. When you focus on abundance with sincere thankfulness, you tune your mind to the frequency of abundance, and the law of attraction brings more abundance into your experience with mathematical precision. Think of gratitude as a lens that determines what you see in the world around you. Through the lens of ingratitude, you see only problems, obstacles, and reasons why life is unfair. Through the lens of gratitude, you see opportunities disguised as challenges, blessings disguised as difficulties, and abundance disguised as sufficiency. The world has not changed. Your perception has changed, and your perception shapes your reality. John D. Rockefeller, even when he was earning minimal wages as a bookkeeper, would express daily gratitude for his health, his opportunities, and his potential for growth. This practice trained his mind to recognize value where others saw only routine, to spot chances where others saw only work. His grateful attitude became a magnet for greater opportunities, better positions, and ultimately unprecedented wealth. The moment you begin practicing sincere gratitude for what you already have, several miraculous things happen in your consciousness. Your mind shifts from a state of lack to a state of abundance. Your focus moves from what is wrong to what is right. Your energy transforms from negative to positive, and this transformation in your inner world creates corresponding changes in your outer world. But gratitude must be genuine, not forced. You cannot fake appreciation and expect authentic results. You must find real reasons to be thankful, even in difficult circumstances. When you lose a job, be grateful for the opportunity to find something better. When you face a challenge, be grateful for the chance to grow stronger. When you experience setback, be grateful for the lessons that will serve you in the future. Start each day by identifying 3 specific things you genuinely appreciate about your current situation. Not vague generalities, but concrete specifics. Not what you think you should be grateful for, but what you actually feel thankful for. Speak these appreciations aloud with real emotion and feel the shift in your mental and emotional state. Andrew Carnegie practiced gratitude even during his poorest days as an immigrant child, appreciating the opportunity to live in America, the chance to work and learn, the potential for a better future. This grateful attitude helped him notice opportunities that others missed, attract people who wanted to help him, and maintain the positive mental state necessary for persistent effort toward his goals. Ingratitude is like wearing sunglasses in a treasure room. The treasures are there, but you cannot see them clearly. Gratitude removes those sunglasses and reveals the wealth that was always surrounding you, waiting for your recognition and appreciation. Tonight, before you sleep, look back over your day and find 5 things that went right, 5 blessings you received, 5 reasons to be thankful. Tomorrow, watch how this simple practice begins to shift your focus, improve your mood, and attract more abundance into your life. Gratitude is not the result of having more. Having more is the result of being grateful for what you already possess. Number 10, becoming who you were meant to be. You have spent your life trying to become someone else, copying the methods of others, pursuing goals that society suggested, wearing masks that others would approve of, and wondering why success feels hollow when you achieve it and why failure feels so devastating when you experience it. You have forgotten the most important truth of human existence. The purpose of life is not to achieve any particular goal, but to become the person you were born to be. Within you lies a unique combination of talents, perspectives, and potential that has never existed before and will never exist again. You are not here to be a pale imitation of someone else's greatness. You are here to express your own greatness, to solve problems only you can solve, to serve humanity in ways only you can serve, to become the fullest, highest, most authentic version of yourself. Imagine that you came into this world carrying a precious seed, planted within you by the infinite intelligence that created all things. This seed contains everything you need to become magnificent, but it can only grow into its full potential if you nurture it with the right thoughts, water it with the right actions, and give it the sunlight of authentic self-expression. Most people never plant their seed. They carry it around their entire lives, wondering what they might have become. Booker T. Washington was born into slavery but refused to let his circumstances define his destiny. He became one of the most influential educators in American history by focusing not on what he had been denied, but on what he could become. Helen Keller was born deaf and blind, but became one of the most inspiring speakers and writers of her generation by refusing to accept limitation as permanent. They understood that who you become is far more important than what you achieve. The moment you commit to becoming your authentic self rather than an imitation of someone else, everything changes in your life. You stop competing with others because you realize you are in a race of one. You stop seeking approval from others because you learn to approve of yourself. You stop fearing failure because you understand that every experience, whether labeled success or failure, is contributing to your growth. But becoming who you were meant to be requires courage. Courage to be different when others demand conformity. Courage to pursue your vision when others cannot see it. Courage to express your truth when others prefer comfortable lies. Courage to grow when others are content to remain the same. The process of becoming is more important than any destination you might reach. Each day you choose growth over comfort, you evolve. Each time you choose truth over convenience, you develop. Each moment you choose love over fear, you transform. You are not trying to become perfect. You are trying to become authentic. Start today by asking yourself not, what do I want to achieve, but who do I want to become? Not, what will make others proud of me, but what will make me proud of myself? Not, what is expected of me, but what is authentic for me? The answers to these questions will guide you toward the life you were born to live. Look in the mirror and see not who you have been, but who you are becoming. See not your limitations, but your potential. See not your mistakes, but your growth. See not someone trying to be like others, but someone courageously becoming themselves. You were not born to live someone else's life. You were not born to fulfill someone else's dreams. You were not born to become someone else's version of success. You were born to become yourself, fully and completely, without apology or compromise. This is your highest calling, your greatest opportunity, your most sacred responsibility. Become who you were meant to be, and your very existence will inspire others to do the same. Number 11, the final choice. Use the power or be used. The moment of truth has arrived. You have been given the keys to unlock human potential, the blueprint for transforming dreams into reality, the exact methodology used by the most successful people who have ever lived. But knowledge without action is merely intellectual entertainment, and wisdom without application is nothing more than sophisticated ignorance. You stand at the crossroads every human being eventually faces. To your left lies the comfortable path of excuses, the familiar territory of procrastination, the well-worn road of good intentions that leads nowhere. To your right lies the challenging path of discipline, the uncertain territory of commitment, the narrow road of consistent action that leads to extraordinary achievement. You have exactly the same 24 hours each day as Carnegie, Edison, Ford, and Rockefeller had. You have access to the same universal laws they used. You possess the same creative potential they demonstrated. The only difference between their lives and yours is not opportunity, not circumstances, not luck. The difference is what they chose to do with their first 30 minutes of each day. Every morning for the rest of your life, you will face this choice again. You can surrender those precious opening moments to the chaos of the external world, allowing others to program your mind with their limitations, their fears, their small dreams. Or you can claim those moments for yourself, using them to install thoughts of power, purpose, and unlimited possibility deep into your subconscious mind. This is not a small decision. This is the decision that will determine whether you live as the master of your destiny or the victim of your circumstances, whether you attract abundance or struggle with scarcity, whether you develop unshakable confidence or remain paralyzed by self-doubt. Your morning ritual is your daily vote for the life you want to live. Most people will hear these words and do nothing. They will nod in agreement, feel temporarily inspired, and then return to their old patterns because change requires effort and old habits demand no energy. They will wait for a better time, a clearer sign, a stronger motivation. They will convince themselves that they are different, that their circumstances are unique, that these principles work for others but not for them. But you are not most people. You would not have stayed with this message until this moment if you were content with mediocrity. Something inside you recognizes the truth in these words, feels the power in these principles, knows that you were meant for something greater than your current existence. The next 24 hours will reveal who you really are. Will you wake up tomorrow 30 minutes earlier to begin your transformation, or will you let the snooze button steal another opportunity for greatness? Will you look into your own eyes and speak words of power, or will you avoid the mirror because you are not ready to take responsibility for your life? If you choose to begin tomorrow, you will not see dramatic changes immediately. The first week will feel strange, the second week will feel difficult, the third week will feel like work. But somewhere around the fourth week, you will notice something different in your thinking. By the second month, others will notice something different in your presence. By the sixth month, your entire life will be moving in a new direction. The power to create the life you have always wanted is not coming someday. It is here now, in this moment, waiting for your decision. You can continue to be programmed by others, influenced by their limitations, shaped by their fears. Or you can take control of your own programming, install thoughts of unlimited possibility, and become the person you were born to be. The choice is yours. The time is now. Your destiny awaits your decision. There is a moment in every caterpillar's transformation when it can no longer remember being a caterpillar, yet it has not yet discovered it can fly. It exists in the sacred space between what it was and what it is becoming, suspended in the mystery of its own metamorphosis, trusting a process it cannot see but feels in every cell of its being. You are in that space now. The person who began this journey with me is already dissolving, making room for the person you are becoming. Tomorrow morning, when you rise 30 minutes before the world awakens, when you look into your own eyes and speak those 11 declarations with burning conviction, you will not be the same person who spoke them yesterday. You will be evolving, transforming, awakening to powers that have always lived within you. Each morning becomes a sacred appointment with your highest self. Each declaration becomes a chisel stroke, carefully sculpting the masterpiece of your character. Each day becomes evidence that you are not victim to circumstance but creator of destiny, not passenger on the ship of life, but captain charting your own course toward shores others can only dream of reaching. The path you have chosen requires no special talents, no unique circumstances, no favors from fortune. It requires only the courage to meet yourself each morning in the mirror and speak truth to the person looking back. It requires only the faith to believe that consistent action in the direction of your dreams will eventually lead you to their fulfillment. If you are ready to continue this journey of transformation, to receive the deeper teachings that will accelerate your awakening, then I invite you to join the community of seekers who have chosen mastery over mediocrity. Subscribe now, not as an ending, but as a beginning, not as a conclusion, but as an invitation to explore the unlimited possibilities that await when you truly understand the power of your own mind. The universe has been waiting for you to remember who you really are. Your awakening has already begun.